Some of the best army builders that you possibly could have had from a franchise that had everything going for it. A cool cartoon, a cool video game, not so good toys. They try a reboot and they fail as well. What happened to these Bucky O'Hare Toad Troopers? YouTube Nation, welcome back. This is kind of going to be, well, not kind of going to be, it's going to be a comparison video. I've got two vintage Toad Troopers from the early Bucky O'Hare days. We're going to set those aside, and then we've got two of the new from Boss Fight Toad Fighters, and we're going to compare them. Why were these a failure? These should have been mainstream, and we left so many characters on the table that should have been here. All right, let's take a look at some of these older ones. Now, if you kind of look, compared to the new one I got in the box, they have two different sculpts. We'll get to that in a second. Kind of looks the same. I don't have the gun for these guys. I don't have a lot of Bucky O'Hare accessories, but they're not that bad to get. Beefy guy. No articulation other than just a leg, head, and arm swivels. That's all you get on these. But how cool do they look with just a little bit of playwear? This one's got some like lip dings and scraps and scrapes and stuff. This one just has a little bit of one, but it just adds a little bit of how cool they look. So in comparison of these two, I'm gonna go here. So we've got the skull and crossbones on the front, which is kind of cool. The guns really do look the same. We'll get to that here in a second. They've got the elbow pads. They've got the shoulder pads. They kind of have a goldish, but this one is yellow. The straps, the suspenders with the belt. The neat thing is that one of the things that Bucky O'Hare really did in the day was that you could use this hole and it would go into a peg like such. And so there was no blaster holder or anything. It just was that. And they also have that on the vintage one. Got the K, got the backwards K. Did not go with that on the hat, but they do have it on that once we get to it. So let's do this. Are these things great action figures? Yes, they are great action figures because they're troop builders, and I love a troop builder, but we're gonna set the old ones aside just for a second. So let's take a look at this one. We're gonna open this one in a second and look at the actual other accessories that came with it. There's some other heads and stuff. So the neat thing about it, you've got detail. The hat will come off and it will show a little bit. It's got just a hole here that it can go in and out, and you could have it. You want him to have a backwards hat? Guess what? You could kinda let him have a backwards hat, which I think is kind of cool. The detail on it is fantastic. Look at the hat and look at the buckle for the hat that's right there. I mean, just astonishing how cool that is. Easy, accessible hands. They've got a good trigger finger. Pew, 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 pew. So they look like they're doing that. Really is an awesome figure by Boss Fight Studios. Now, let's take a look at the sealed one. So here's the box art. Good cartoon. It's got the cool old Bucky O'Hare logo. It's got awesome logo. It's got this. It does have the cool on the back. Peel off and get them going. So there's Bucky, there's Jenny, and there's Deadeye Duck, and there is a Stormtrooper and a Storm Toad Trooper. So the one thing that is sticking out to me that's pretty big is the fact that, first off, two Jennies, two Buckies. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs two Jennies or two Buckies, okay? Peg warmers, BRs, but these weren't in the stores. Now, you could find these. These are actually, I don't know how recently it's been, but Some people have seen these in Ollie's, if you have those in America. So the card comes off, this comes out, which is an interesting concept that I love because you can also put it right back in and it's a carded figure, which is aces in my opinion. So once you open this, you get the gun out, the big blaster. Again, it has the holes to where it can hold it. We're going to see if he can hold it. And then the blaster here, the little pistol. We just saw that from this guy over here. Let's take that off in the back. Let's just pop this guy out and let's take a look. First of all, the thing you'll notice is look at the dust. That's it's a sealed figure for cry. Does have the K's. Now, does this come off? Pops right off. So after the dust is in, it does have some red, does have that, because the whole plastic is inside of this. So I am going to have this figure actually have the helmet on, since I have two. If I were to have more than two of these, I would alternate it and have it. But I do think this is a cool look with the teeth grinning from side to side, which matches the old version of it. This one's just kind of got stank eye going on. A little hard. I don't know the plastic because it's cold in my house right now because it's 8 degrees outside. I'm not gonna bend it too much because I don't want to snap his hands. So big rifle. Big rifle for me is probably, oh, look at this. What's going on here? That's neat. I don't know if that's actually broke or if that's supposed to do that, but that's kind of neat. I don't have another one to compare. For me, this is going to go right here. Right there. That's where it's going to go. And I think this little pistol, I think is going to look better on the side as such. Kind of like that. And then let's look into the real details over here as we get those two guys standing next to each other. All right, so as we look at this, so here is the other frog head, which we've seen on this one, the toad. He's got the baseball hat. I'm not going to get that out. He does have several different hands. I do think the hands look good. They match the skin tone. I do think this is neat. Kind of like a, what is that, a scepter or a, whatever it is. It's a thing. It's absolutely a thing. But I'm gonna leave those accessories inside of it just like that. And then I'm gonna take my hat, dude, and I'm going to take my hat guy and I'm gonna put it right there to kind of have accessorized for him. So I'm gonna start displaying these new versus old. And I think it's gonna look really cool. I really enjoy the look of them together, especially with the different head molds of two different ones. I dig it. I know these have been out for a long time, so it's not like a lot of you all are seeing these for the first time, but if it is your first time seeing these, man, these really are cool. And it's sad that we're not gonna get the complete line of them. We got Al the Gator, we got Boss Toad, who I do not believe was released. Vintage ones, awesome. Newer ones, awesome. Sad thing about it, there's not many of these to get, and if you want to complete a line, these are pretty easy to go about doing that. These, you can find them online for pretty cheap, so that's where we are. But we're gonna start diving into Bucky O'Hare stuff, as well as the cops things. So hope you all liked the first Bucky O'Hare toy review from vintage to new. We'll check it out next time. Peace out, home skillets.